What is up, guys? Ian here. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we're taking your mindset from a place of lack to a place of abundance. Today I just want to talk about values and principles. Most likely your values are what you surround your life by, how you act towards things, and what type of person you are. The values and principles of your life are really determined on not only who you surround yourself with, but who you see yourself becoming. Now, when I met my mentor, I most likely didn't have any values. I obviously lived my life accordingly to some belief system that I had, but the values at which I was living off them were very bendy. They weren't concrete. They weren't like solidified. And because I got around great people with very defined values and principles, I was able to create a value list of my own and live off of that ever since. The idea of having a value and principle, list to live off of is only because you're going to shape your actions around those things. And I like to think of it a little like this. When it comes to making decisions, know that you've already created a decision because of your values. So when it comes to having a choice of doing one thing and that goes with your values and doing another that goes against your values, you automatically know what side you're going to choose. And this will relieve a lot of decisions you have to make in your life. And by sticking to your values, you will become more solidified in your character. You're becoming more of a individual who people actually trust and are influenced by. I think it's so important for us to have values to live off, because if we can't trust ourselves, who can we? And it's so important to be able to have a trusting, mentality. I know that I can be maybe too trusting sometimes, but I know deep down and within me that everything that I have been lending, or everything that I exerted through a trusting relationship, that will come back to me, even though that their trust is questionable. It's so important for me to forgive them and not to condemn them. Let them be who they want, and in my own situation, be the best example I can be. And if I want to be the best example, obviously I had to make very strong decisions, and those decisions are very difficult to answer if I don't have a value system, if I don't have principles that I'm living my day off of, my life off of. So what are a few values of mine that I live each day out of? What are these things that I'm aligning my life around? Well, number one, I would say, is probably my faith. Probably just this experience, this human experience. I feel like I'm a spiritual being living this human experience, and that's the essence of what I'm here to do. It's more or less live life to the fullest, but through that be a instrument for God to play. And I want to play a beautiful song. I want to make a symphony with who I'm here to become. And I can only do that by praising this higher spirit within me, this higher self. And if I can really connect to that and be a shining example of what it looks like to live each day and day out off of my faith and for a higher good, then I'm going to actually bring more people into that. One thing that I do want to say is, when it comes to faith, I don't like to, preach about, like, I don't know, my type of faith. I like to be a shining example of what it looks like to have a deep spiritual side of things, and really be that connected individual with the higher source. And there's nothing that can really say that you don't already know. And more or less, through active conversation, I would love to talk about faith, but I don't feel like it's the best thing to talk about and try to teach people about, even though there's great people out there that do a fantastic job about that. I'm just kind of living like my mentor, who never really talks about his faith. He never really like teaches people and does all that. He leaves that to the priests and the church, but he is a shining example of what it looks like to have an incredible faith. He shows faith through action, and I mean that's a rudiment word when it comes to faith. It's action. You really can't explain what it is. You just have to be it and do it. So another principle that I have is, I'm doing this for my future family. A lot of things that I do every single day are to create a bigger dream and a bigger experience for my future family. And I visualize every single day of me and my wife, my future wife, and our kids, and living this abundant life and be able to give my kids whatever they ever need, whatever they need. If they want to go to college, if they want to do equestrian, if they want to travel and do all these things, I want to be able to say yes. And I think that is probably a huge reason why I have my value system. It's because I want to be able to say yes. And I think it's so important to have this idea of your procreation. You need to really focus on not just your life, but the lives that you may create. And you don't want to bring those gentle souls into a very sporadic and very not really concrete type lifestyle. You want something that they can come in and flourish in. And that is a huge why for me. It's a huge value that I do everything around that. Another value of mine is to actually be able to be who I want to be. And I only can do that by being financially independent. I've looked at all the routes that I need to do, or any route that I could, to be able to travel, to be able to be on my time, to be able to surf every day, to be able to jump in a hippie van and drive and just live life. I've looked at how to be able, what occupation do I need to be able to have the nice cars, Ford Raptor, Porsche 918, 911. What occupation could give me a yacht? How to be able to own my own house and own my own things. Well, I just know that I would never be able to do that in a job. Bottom line. And there's no job out there that can give me that. So I've come to the realization that I have to become financially independent, because with that I don't have a cap over myself. And it's so important for me to be able to unlock my dreams and really be able to grow to the highest potential that I can. There is no ceiling. And every single day I want to go a little farther out of my comfort zone and stretch a little farther of what I know, so I can really expand and become really what God really wants me to become. And I know for a fact that I was not here just to live a mediocre life, work a 9 to 5, and barely be able to pay for ends meet. No, I want to pay for 7,000 people's ends meet. I want to be able to give back. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to eat real food. I want to be able to look sharp, and I want to be able to drive nice cars, like I said, and be able to have the time to spend with my family, have the time to give back to my family, have the opportunity to speak into other people's lives. And I would never be able to do that in an occupation. And I'm sorry if you have an occupation and you want to do those things. Just know that there are other ways out there to create financial success, and it's just not through what you're doing. So when it comes to values and principles, just know that your decision has already been made, and have a deep, deep, deep desire to grow and to enrich your life every single day. And I highly encourage you to write down what you want in life, because what you want in life can always be narrowed down to your values and your principles. And visualize and dream about the abundance that your life may hold. If you want that Porsche 918 Spyder, visualize it, dream it, and know that it's not impossible. It's just a level of you stretching out of your comfort zone and knowing the right people. And every single day you can go out of your way to stretch yourself and introduce you to the right person, strangers, who knows. The first step is actually dreaming and visualizing what you want, and the second step is having that door open. And if you can really visualize and start to narrow down what it is that you want in life, I will guarantee you that things will start to align. They're not going to align right away, but they're going to slowly get the pieces and fill out the puzzle. And once that happens, guys, you will begin a beautiful journey. But just know that your decisions have already been made. I hope you guys found this video very helpful. If you find these videos helpful, make sure you hit that bell button so you can get notified every single time I make a video. But other than that, guys, hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you later. Namaste.